Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Mikey, man. Can we keep it real podcast, man? Also over here on the Voice Sports page. Shout out to the Voice Sports, everything they have going on. Wayne, Samson, the bad guy, the professor, getting into his new digs. Everybody, everything Voice Nation, you already know. Coach Twilight, and a bunch of people that I haven't mentioned. Yeah, last night I did. If you followed the Can We Keep It Real podcast page, we did a top 11 in Rhode Island football countdown, and I want to know what goes into making a good head coach. Like, what would go into making your top 10 list of your local high school community? What would go into making your top 10 list? What criteria are you using to make your list? But shout out to everybody that makes this possible. I already said big shout out to Voice Sports, everything they had going on. They were rocking with a basketball game earlier. Big ups to all the boys and girls that are in all the basketball finals across the U.S. And Coldwell Banker Coastal Homes, you're looking to buy a home. Big shout out, Mark Wright. Give Mark a call today. And big shout out to Rally Point Ministries. The only way to stand is if we stand together. But I wanted to talk real quick about what is your check the boxes on making a good high school list, because in business you need to check the boxes to run a business, to run your home. You need to check the boxes to be a coach. You need a check the boxes. What would go into your check the box list requirements to be a good football coach? Or even, I had a top 10 list or a top 11 list actually. And, some people might have not liked the list, but I was going over some of the lists that I saw and some of the people on the list. And I said, this is your guy. Like, this is really, you have him in your top 10 list. What made you make that determination? Would you put your kid's high school coach inside your top 10? And if so, why? Should it be Super Bowl wins? Uh, should that person be able to lead by example? What goes into making a good coach? Teaching effectively, having a big understanding of the sport. So let me know what would go into your top 10 list. Shout out Chris Arnold. That's a fact. Let's go. And I'm just curious, because not all successful seasons end in a championship, right? You have different ways. There's different ways to be successful in sports from the youth level all the way up. But if we're talking high school football and you're putting down your top 10 list, what criteria would go for you to make a top 10 list? Would the person have to be, a visionary, a good speaker, or are you just gonna pick this person because you like the person? Oh, that's my dog. Some people say they're number one because I spoke with a coach and he says, I think I'm the best coach in the state. And I said, why? He said, because I feel in my heart that you could put me on any team. No matter where you put me, I'll be able to lead them men. So, okay, he was upfront about it. What makes you a good high school coach? Oh, put me on a whiteboard with any coach and I'll smoke them. Does that alone make you a good high school coach because you can match up on the whiteboard? Maybe. But here I am. I never coached football. I've been around football my whole life, but I never coached it. My kid played it. I've been around the youth league, so I don't know what it takes to be a great high school coach. And this is why I'm putting it out there to the community, asking the community what makes a good coach, right? Does a good coach have to be able to play the game? Does a good coach? There's been great coaches that never played the game. So what goes into the process? Attending coaching clinics, attending camps. Are you a bad coach if you don't attend coaching clinics and camps? I'm just curious. I'm putting it out there. Want to get the community's view on this. Are some coaching personality contest? The Ponagansett defensive coordinator, see, I got that right, said your program's improving every year, getting the max production of your players. Your record, have you made the playoffs? Have you made the Super Bowl? Have you won any Super Bowls? All right, that goes into deciding a good coach. Win-loss records is another way that should decide good coaches. How about building a program? I see so many great coaches that come in and they say, I had a successful program. And, some people will say, well, did you? When you had 60 people, 60 players your first year, 50, 48, 45, So, did you really have a successful program if your numbers go backwards? Building a program. What does it take to build a program? Like you started a program last, your last coaching job where you came in, I think there was like 18 players, and then a couple years later, you have 35, 36 players. And for some programs, 35, 36 players is a lot. I'm up here in Rhode Island, a lot of damn work. Exactly. That's a fact. A lot of damn work. I'm up here in Rhode Island and there was a Division 1 program, Burrillville Broncos. And I think last season was their biggest roster in a long time. And I want to say it was up in the 40s, but usually they rock them with 30, 32, 33 kids over in Burrillville. I never seen the program much bigger than 33 programs for a high school program. And they made the playoffs. I believe they even went for the division championship a year ago. So yes, is that a successful program having 30 kids, 40 kids doing that against a team like a private school like Bishop Hendricken? That's, if you listen yesterday, Felix Fernandez, from Rhode Island Rank said, Bishop Hendricken, with all the kids they have, if you get 10 carries, you're getting a lot because they just spread it out so much. And he said there's only about 50 offensive calls per game. So if you're getting 10 of them calls, you're doing very, very good. Dunkin' Donuts needs to stop paying me for that advertising, but a motivator is, yeah, exactly. And if you're on a YouTube or a Twitter page or Voice Sports, welcome. Samson, the bad guy, was doing a basketball game before this, So if that game is still going on, definitely support everything Voice Sports has going on. And if you're a youth level league and you really want to look into letting Voice Sports promote your event, they'll interview the players, they live stream it. I mean, go check out some of their content over on Voice Sports. They really have it going on over there. You get the whole enchilada. Yep, getting players to believe in themselves. Achievements, exactly, because they come easier from some coaches than others, right? Building a good scout program. Yes, very good. That is another example of a good coach. How about the players, right? Have respect in a relationship. Do players have to respect you as a coach? Should you have to earn their respect? Are you a good listener? I mean, all these go into being a good coach. I would think being a good communicator, effective listening, being able to listen to the players as well as getting input for them. A good coach would probably go to the kids for information. A good coach would probably go to their assistants for information if you have assistants worthy of getting information from. And I know for some programs, they don't pay a lot and there's only so many jobs. So you have to take volunteers on. And sometimes the volunteers are really not what you expect. So you have to work with these guys, build them up. So when you're seeking out information, I guess you kind of have to be careful what information you're actually seeking. Teaching the players to be successful is also very essential for good communication, building a language barrier. So all these things go into being a great coach. All these things go into being a good leader. Let me get up. I wanted to go over, so yesterday, some people might have had a problem with some, of the top 11 football coaches, and some people probably should have been maybe down the list a little more. But I'll tell you what, there was some people that were taking shots behind the scenes, not really liking. But a lot of people said for the most part it was pretty good. And putting this list together, if it was a personality contest, Mike Washington would have won by far. If it was a personality contest, Mike Washington would have won by far. Stanley Dunbar would have been in second. But no, we put Chris McCall up there based on his merits. He brought several, Gatorade Player of the Year. He got kid in Rutgers. He has kids really playing. And how can you not give it to Keith Frost, Bishop Hendricken? How many championships have they won in the last 13 seasons? So say what you want about the private school. I mean, but how many states, in Maryland, your private school, have they won it 12 out of 13 years? But big shout out to Voice Sports. But yeah, so we did. So I was just curious. Some of these lists, I see some of these guys on there, and I'm just curious. What makes that play? What makes that coach worthy of being on the list? So I figured it'd be really good to find out what you coaches use for a criteria. What makes them a good leader? In everything you got to have a check the box situations. Are you an effective communicator? Good listener? Is it a disciplined team? Do they have integrity? Do they have character? I mean, it's just reasonable. A good coach should be able to set the rules on and off the field, to be able to keep your staff in check. But I think all them things actually make a good football coach. Excuse me for 1 minute. A good football coach should be disciplined. How about a players coach? Is that a good football coach? How about a coach that really don't rock with the players? He's just straight up by the book football, like a Dwayne Miranda type coach. That's no fun, Dwayne, but he's gonna come out there and produce on the field for the first couple of seasons. Why do you think your coach or this coach or that coach should be worthy to be on the list as a top 10 coach? Are they producing recruits? So what does make a great coach is basically what I'm trying to ask. What makes a bad coach? And we got this platinum here to pretty much get, talk about stuff like this, self-awareness, bringing specific issues to the attention of other people in youth sports. And with social media is just getting bigger with so much information, so many examples, so many ideas we can all shoot off each other. And at the end of the day, it's just to make every coach better. It's not to laugh at certain coaches, it's not to call out certain coaches, but we got to have integrity about it, right? And we got to keep it real. But that's all. I just figured I'd jump on real quick. Keep these nice and short. Just curious, what makes a good football coach? We're gonna have a lot more content coming up. Thank you to the people that make this possible. Mark Wright, Coldwell Banker, Coastal Homes, a presidential award winner. Check out all the shows that are on all the platforms. Voice Sports, you got In the Lab with the Professor, Samson the Bad Guy, Ohio the Player. You got so many great shows coming up, and the content is going to be off the chain. What you're going to be seeing pretty soon from Voice Sports. They're about to go on a tour and do their thing. So if you're a youth program and you're looking, a lot of boxes to check, right? I mean, check the box. Did I lay it down okay, coach? There is definitely a lot of boxes to check. But what definitely makes a good coach? But if you're a youth program and you're looking for a streaming platform to stream your games, interview players, I mean, they'll travel to you. Just make it right. Definitely reach out to Voice Sports. Voice Sports really has it going on. Go check out some of their content. There's gonna be a lot more content coming up. That is for sure. Big shout out to Rally Point. The only way to stand is together. Go check out Rally Point's website. There's a lot of stuff out there for young men. We are in like the biggest era of fatherless homes. I think 3 out of 4 fatherless homes. So definitely check out Rally Point. The only way to stand is together. Salute to Pastor Pennington holding it down. And big shout out to all the boys and girls throughout the nation that are in the finals. And congratulations to all the coaches that did make our top 11. And if you are a high school, or no matter where you are up and down the East Coast, if you want to promote your high school team and you want to come on and do post-game interviews, definitely get at me, get at anybody in the Voice Sports Network. No matter what state you are in, we're just looking to promote the youth consistently. So big shout out to everybody out there. Be safe. Let me see if there's anything else. Nope, I think I need to be going the other way. Be safe. Can't wait to see a lot of these basketball highlights. And we are out.
Get ready, it's coming. You hunting or you running? Get ready, get ready, get ready, ready. It's coming.
What y'all thought we was done? Oh, we ain't never done. It's Mr. Spin Your Block. Yeah, it's the remix. And I got some shooters with me. Yeah.
Nervous with butterflies in your stomach, don't try to intimidate me. You couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, smart, dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work, he ain't prepared me to quit. I'm the only captain who's sailing this championship.
I gotta hold down the city.
Gotta let you know where I come from.
We Keep It Real Podcast Network. Shout out to Can We Keep It Real Podcast.